Welcome back, y'all. It is Sunday, April 20th, 2025, 420. And you are watching One More Round Fights, bitch. Let's do that again. Because StreamYard's retarded. And I'm going to use this as a disclaimer for StreamYard. Your days are fucking numbered, StreamYard. Your days are fucking numbered. You heard me. You fucking heard me right. Your days are fucking numbered, StreamYard. But anyways, yeah, it's Sunday, April 20th, 420. And you're watching One More Round Fights. I'm your host, Gav. I do this shit every motherfucking Sunday. That's right. Every Sunday. MMA, boxing, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, whatever the fuck it is. I'm covering it. I got you. I'm putting a nice little bow on that bitch. All right? We didn't have that big of a weekend. We had some shit go down. It wasn't too big. If you're a fight head like me, he was watching. If you're a fight head like Luke, he was watching. If you're a casual, you're probably watching basketball or baseball. It is what it is. That's why I'm here. Don't forget to follow on social. Scan the QR codes below. Left side for the main card minute. Right side for this channel here where you catch the Friday simulations, the Sunday recaps. And on the left, you'll catch our Saturday watch-alongs on the main card minute. So don't forget to join the channels. Don't forget to become a part of the family. We're going to grow into other sports eventually. But for now, our takeover is in MMA and boxing. So come along. Check us out. Pull us up on YouTube while you watch ESPN or fucking Stream East or whatever you got going on. All right. Don't forget to follow on social. That's where we put out the parlays and all other social graphics. One More Round Fights on YouTube. One More Round Fights on Twitch, Instagram, TikTok. It's a little different on X because Elon's a dickhead. He's a character limit. So fuck you, Elon, and fuck you, X. Don't forget to send your wins in at One More Round Fights at gmail.com. That is One More Round Fights at gmail.com. And shout out to our sponsor, W.GG. Use promo code One More Round for 10% off. That is promo code One More Round for 10% off. Yeah. Yeah, that's what we're working with. All right. Let me make sure all my audio and video, everything's switched like right before the stream starts for no absolute reason. So I'm a little tight of stream, y'all. I'm a little tight of stream because literally I was sitting here chilling for about 15 minutes, brushing my teeth in front of this bitch. Everything was going well. I was muted. I go unmuted. Boom. Camera switches. Boom. Mic switches. I'm like, all right, StreamYard, your days are fucking numbered. Oh, your days are fucking numbered, StreamYard. Count them, numbered. But yeah, so over the weekend we had PFL 3. Pretty much the lone thing that happened in the major MMA circuit. So it was only right for me to start off the entire stream with a fighter spotlight of the week. That's right. Our fighter spotlight of the week is going to be on one half of our main event on PFL 3 in Orlando, Florida. That's right. This fighter spotlight is on Fabian Edwards. Fabian Edwards, brother of Leon Rocky Edwards, former UFC welterweight champion. Yes, Fabian Edwards. You may know him as a Bellator fan favorite. You may know him as a PFL guy, a guy that really hasn't panned out up until now. But let me dive deep on Fabian Edwards so you guys know who he is for those who are unfamiliar. Fabian Edwards is 32 years of age, born March 24th, 1993. He stands 6'1". He's a middleweight with a 79.5-inch reach, usually fighting southpaw just like his brother. All right, he's 14-4, 5 KOs, 3 submission victories. He's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and he's looking to make a championship run in PFL at middleweight in 2025. Now, Fabian Edwards trains at a Team Renegade BJJ and MMA. He's been training there since 2015 until this day. But he used to train at Ultimate Training Center since 2010. He trained from 2010 until 2015 out of Erdington, Birmingham, England. Birmingham. I don't know how they say it in England, but Birmingham, England. He was born in Kingston, Jamaica, where he and his family shared a single bed, 1 room, and wooden house. Okay. His mother took the children. They moved out. His father decided to go to England. Okay. His father became the boss of a neighborhood gang going by the name The General. And Edwards became desensitized to gun violence since it occurred so frequently in his neighborhood where gang and criminal activity were running rampant. Now, if you remember in the Leon Edwards and Sean Brady fight, Sean Brady made a point to make fun of there not being guns in England. Now, guns are illegal in England, but that doesn't mean it's not there. Shrooms, heroin, a bunch of things are illegal in the US. We still have them, don't we? So what makes you think that there's no guns in England at all and that they only fight with knives? That's definitely not the case. I think guns fall under crime for me. So, yeah. So gunshots were commonplace. When Edwards was 7 years old, his parents were divorced and his father already residing in London. He continued to provide for his family using these criminal activities. This will become a point later. They eventually relocated to England to be closer to his father. First to London, then to Aston, Birmingham, England. I don't know why I can't say Birmingham. There were gangs there as well. As you know, gang activity goes everywhere. It's not just in your criminal-ridden towns. It's not just in lower middle-class towns. It could be in high-class towns too. They decided to form Team Renegade back then. This was more geared towards brotherhood than any MMA activity, if you get what I'm saying here. But Leon was heavily involved in gang activity. Drug dealing, street fighting, knife possession. Him and others in his posse, renegade team, if you will, people in his social circle, they're getting in a lot of trouble. Then when Leon was 13 and Fabian Edwards was 11, their father was shot dead in a London nightclub. This forever changed the way Leon and Fabian saw life, saw opportunities, saw everything. They fell deeper into the gang life, deeper into criminal activities, until their mother said enough was enough. When Leon was 17, his mother suggested MMA, and he got into it. Leon loved it. He found it as a channel for directing his anger towards the death of his father and his involvement in criminal activity and the roads it took him down. So it was a great outlet for him. And he saw that it could be a great outlet for Fabian. So when Fabian turned 16, Leon urged him heavily to take it up as well. And so he did. Leon fighting mostly at lightweight, welterweight, middleweight, and Fabian only fighting at middleweight for the entirety of his career. Prior to going pro, he had a record of 9-0 as an amateur. He rose up in the ranks by working as a janitor and a carpenter. He did not leave his janitorial position until after signing his first deal with Bellator. So his first few MMA fights, he was splitting time 50-50, working out at night, had a full-time job during the day, at which point he believed his MMA career was already started. The younger Edwards alternated between a day job and a fighting career for many years, working both jobs to exhaustion. But someday he assured them, I'd be making enough money not to do that. And guess what? To this day, it's starting to pay off. It's starting to pay off. Now let's look at Fabian's record real quick. He started his career, Bellator 179. That was his first contract, keep in mind. That was his first Bellator contract, keep in mind. He wins the fight by flying knee to Rafał Sergowski. This was in London, England, his middleweight debut. So at this point, he's going to go full-time in MMA. He's going to quit his job. Doesn't really work out in Bellator. He fights at Bama for the next 4 fights. He beats the next 3 guys by submission: Aaron Kennedy, Lewis King, Kent Koppinen at Bama 30, 33, and 34, respectively. It was a round 2 finish, then 2 round 1 finishes. Then at Bama 35, he TKOs Claudio Conti. This was May 12th of 2018 in round 1 in Dublin, Ireland. He fights his way back to Bellator. He takes on Lee Chadwick. He wins a unanimous decision bout on February 9th of 2019 in Newcastle, England. Then takes on Falco Neto and wins by up kicks and punches, TKO, at Bellator Birmingham, May 4th, 2019 in the first round. First round finishes are they're a theme. They're definitely a theme of Fabian Edwards' career. Then he takes on Jonathan Bosuku, wins unanimous decision at Bellator 223, June 22nd, 2019, London, England. And then takes on Mike Shipman. Yeah, the same Mike Shipman that fought on this PFL 3 card earlier in the night. He beats him by split decision at Bellator London 2, November 23rd, 2019. And then he takes on Castello Van Steenis in Milan, Italy, September 26th of 2020. Now, he was initially booked to face Castello Van Steenis May 16th, 2020 at Bellator London 3, but the event was canceled due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The bout was rebooked for September 26th, where Fabian lost his first bout in his career via split decision. And he would lose the fight after this to Austin Vanderford. Yes, UFC now veteran Austin Vanderford at Bellator 259. He lost by a unanimous decision May 21st of 2021 in Uncasville, Connecticut in the United States. Now, Fabian wanted to make a huge run in his career after this because that's the only option to make after losing 2 in a row. You have to go all the fuck in. So this is what he does. He takes on Lyoto Machida, striking expert. After losing 2 fights to grapplers, Bellator throws him a bone. They're like, we're going to give you a striker. Let's see what you can do. He takes on Lyoto Machida, knocks him out with an elbow and punches at Bellator 281, May 13th of 2022, in the first round in London, England, in his own backyard, I guess. And then takes on Charlie Ward, beats him in a unanimous decision at Bellator 287, October 29th of 2022 in Milan, Italy. That's right. He already avenged his Italian loss, Milan, Italy, to Castello Van Steenis, so he righted his L in Italy. He's beaten Charlie Ward, and now he takes on Gegard Mousasi, Bellator 296, and wins that by unanimous decision, May 12th, 2023. That was in Paris, France, and that was a Bellator middleweight title eliminator. He is now in title contention to fight against Johnny Eblen. And the first big finish loss of his career happens. He is knocked out by Johnny Eblen at Bellator 299, September 23rd of 2023 in Dublin, Ireland. Loses his chance at the belt. Then he takes on Aaron Jeffrey. Yeah, the Aaron Jeffrey that just fought on this PFL 3 card again. Another weird theme. But yeah, he beats Aaron Jeffrey at Bellator Champion Series 1, March 22nd of 2024 in Belfast, Northern Ireland. Writing his Ireland loss. Another theme here. Bellator middleweight title eliminator. And then he loses to Johnny Eblen in a unanimous decision at PFL Super Fights Battle of the Giants, October 19th, 6 days after my birthday, 2024, in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. He lost his second chance at the Bellator Middleweight World Championship, and which very well may have been his last chance to capture the Bellator Middleweight World Championship. But that didn't stop Fabian Edwards. Even though he lost 2 times to the same guy for that belt, he knew that the PFL swallowed Bellator. He knew there was another belt that he could go for. And so he entered the 2025 PFL World Middleweight Tournament. And in the very first round, coming in as a plus 140 dog to Impa Kasanganay, he comes out in round 2 and knocks him out with 2 minutes and 14 seconds and moves on to the semifinals of the 2025 PFL Middleweight Tournament. One step closer to a PFL middleweight champion. And guess what? Johnny Eblen's not in the tournament. And guess what? A guy that he beat is on the other side of the back bracket. His name's Aaron Jeffrey. And guess what? He beat Mike Shipman, who already lost on the card. So Fabian Edwards is in a fan-fucking-tastic position to finally achieve gold and greatness at middleweight, to finally do what his brother Leon was able to do in the UFC and reach his potential. Hopefully, in this 2025, we can see Fabian Edwards rise to the cream of the crop of the division. And I really hope it happens because I think he can do it. And that's why Fabian Edwards was my fighter spotlight of the week. Shout out to Fabian Edwards. Shout out to Renegade Fight Team. Shout out to Leon Edwards. He's my dark horse, light horse, all the fucking horses. I think Fabian Edwards is going to win this tournament. I don't see Dalton Rasta doing it. I don't see Aaron Jeffrey doing it. I see Fabian Edwards as our 2025 PFL tournament champion at middleweight. So let's see what happens. Let's get to these comments. We got Lazy Bet in the house. Oh, a day early? Let's go. I'm not a day early. Isn't it Sunday? I don't do Mondays, motherfucker. Smoke Smokey. Oh, I forgot it's Sunday. Yeah. Leroy in the house. Big up. Gaff and Lazy Bed. What up? What up, Leroy? How you feeling? It's 420. Hope you're enjoying your holiday. I've already partaken a few times. You guys saw me open the stream with mine. Lazy says, happy 420, Leroy. Leroy says, yes, brother. Happy 420. Yeah, I wasn't going to do a stream today. I was going to do it tomorrow, Lazy. And then I was like, it's 420. Somebody's got to do a stream. And if Luke doesn't do Sunday streams and I'm the one that does Sunday streams, it only makes sense for me to do the stream on Sunday. So, yeah, I had to do it. I had to put the team on my back, and I had to do it. But, yeah, Fabian Edwards, Fighter Spotlight of the Week, opens up the card. TKO's Impa Kasanganay. Impa Kasanganay dropping to middleweight. As you know, he had won the PFL light heavyweight tournament for the last 2 years. But now dropping to middleweight, and Fabian Edwards gets him the fuck up out of there. So, yeah, Fabian Edwards, shout out to him. Shout out to Renegade Fight Team. Shout out to both Edwards brothers. Even though Leon may seem on his fall right now, at least he can be happy for his brother Fabian on his rise in the PFL. Something to look forward to. He will be in all my parlays going forward. You can guarantee that shit, bitch. You can guarantee that. Let's get into some more PFL stuff, right? PFL 3 happened. PFL 3 results, biatch. PFL 3 results. Let's get to that main card. I think that was at 7 p.m. Could have been 7. I don't even remember, man. It was the card switched up so many times. Fights dropped out. Fights were supposed to happen just the day before. Then the fight happens, and they open up with Jeffrey Ramazanov, and I'm like, what the fuck's going on? So PFL had a couple switch ups last minute, more than one switch up last minute. We'll get into it, but let's go top to bottom here. Fabian Edwards defeats Impa Kasanganay via TKO punches, round 2, 2 minutes and 14 seconds. As you already know, I covered that in the Fighter Spotlight of the Week. Fun fact about this fight, Fabian Edwards was originally scheduled to fight Impa Kasanganay, dropped out of the fight. Then Jordan Newman was supposed to step in against Impa Kasanganay. Then Fabian Edwards agrees to fight again. And then Newman is dropped out of the fight. Fabian Edwards back in, gets the TKO over Impa Kasanganay. Does the opponent switch have implications here for how Impa Kasanganay fought? Probably. If you were supposed to eat a burger and then they said, no, you're going to get a chicken sandwich, and then the burger comes out, but you already got all your condiments ready for a fucking chicken sandwich. Yeah, you're kind of pissed, right? Yeah, you're kind of pissed. So no offense to Fabian Edwards, great performance there, but I can imagine Impa Kasanganay was not happy with the shenanigans pulled before this fight was eventually booked. Moving down the card, Gadzi Rabadanov defeats Mark Chikaze via knockout punches, round 1, 32 seconds. That's right, 32 seconds. 32 seconds. So, Gadzi Rabadanov proving that he is the motherfucking truth. Okay? Oh my God. I thought he was a decision machine like that other guy at featherweight. I'm not going to name names. But no, he's not. No, the fuck he's not. With those last 3 finishes, finishing Michael Dufour, round 2, finishing Brent Primus, round 3, and now finishing Mark Chikaze, round 1. Yeah, man, I think he's the favorite. And I don't think he's going to go below 3 digits at any point. Sorry, below minus 900 at any point. I think he's going to be a minus 900, maybe a minus 1,000 favorite for the remainder of this tournament. It's going to be tough to make money off Rabadanov with a win like that. I mean, geez Louise. Now let's talk about the actual fight real quick. I mean, it was only 30 seconds. So Mark Chikaze decides to get cute. Rabadanov grabs the leg, pushes him down. Instead of Mark Chikaze keeping his guard up and blocking incoming bombs from Rabadanov, he decides to play the fucking shrimp game. He decides to take his hands away from blocking his face and put them on the knees and hips of Rabadanov. I know you want to get back to your feet as soon as possible. But bro, this is MMA. You got to do it smart. You got to look out for number 1, and that's your brain. And you didn't do that at all. You were just thinking to get back to your feet right away. A guy like Rabadanov, he's capitalizing on that early in the fight. And he just landed bomb after bomb after bomb after bomb on Mark Chikaze and knocked him the fuck out. Okay, he was out for a while after that. He was out for about 45 seconds, maybe 90 seconds, man. It was a long time he was out. So glad to see that he did get back up after that and that he was fine for the referee's decision. Glad Mark Chikaze is okay, but it does suck because he will be out of fighting for the remainder of this year with a knockout that bad. He's at least taking 6 months off after that, possibly 9. That means he has no more income besides sponsorships coming in for the rest of this year. That is a tough deal, especially with his first fight of the tournament. So I feel for Mark Chikaze, but hell of a finish for Rabadanov. At middleweight, Dalton Rasta submits Sadibu C with a Bravo choke. Round 2. 3 minutes and 29 seconds. Sadibu C just didn't have it. Just didn't look like this was his weight class where he is going to make waves. He was too small. Dalton Rasta did whatever he wanted to him, took him down, and eventually he sunk in a choke. Simple as that. Dalton Rasta looked great. I don't know how much of it was Sadibu C looking bad, but he looked great. And he would be probably a dark horse to win the tournament, if not Fabian Edwards. JJ Wilson defeats Mads Burnell by TKO, round 3, 4 minutes and 42 seconds. I told you motherfuckers about JJ Wilson, did I not? I was telling everybody that would listen. I was like, JJ's here, yo. JJ's here. He's coming. And boy, did he put on a performance. Beat Mads Burnell at his own game. Wrestled him to the mat. Controlled him the entire time. Beat him up on the feet. Beat him up on the ground. And eventually just overwhelmed him with elbows and punches till the referee had to call it with only 18 seconds left in the fight. Yeah. 4 minutes and 42 seconds of round 3. JJ Wilson proving, no, I don't want to just get decision wins. I'm trying to finish my fights. Shout out to JJ Wilson. My money's on him. My money's on JJ. I don't care. I know Godsey's a beast, but my money is on JJ. Alfie Davis defeats Clay Collard in an upset TKO, spinning back elbow and punches. Round 1, 2 minutes and 12 seconds. Clay Collard, at the time of the finish, had issues with the stoppage. There was no issue with that stoppage. He got spinning elbowed. He got caught. I don't even think Alfie Davis meant to throw that elbow. I think he was just spinning to throw a spinning back kick, and the elbow came with the momentum at the time that Clay Collard was shooting, and it caught him on the chin or the nose or the temple or wherever it caught him. Threw him off balance, and Alfie Davis, being the smart fighter that he is, jumped on him and finished him. Didn't put him out, but hit him with enough strikes that made the referee think that Clay Collard was done. Clay Collard doing a cartwheel afterwards, trying to prove that he was fine, but it just looked like some circus material because he already had been finished pretty handily. So, yeah. Alfie Davis with a huge win. On the prelims, Josh Silveira defeats Mike Shipman via boring decision, 29-28, 29-28, 29-28. I mean, you know, there was a lot of clinching, a lot of grappling, a lot of control time for Josh Silveira. I thought it was a 30-27. I mean, I could have seen a 29-28, but I thought it was a 30-27 for Silveira. I didn't think he was going to lose this fight at any moment. I was most worried after what I saw in that first fight of the night. At lightweight, Brent Primus defeats Vinicius Sekeli Sansi. Excuse me. Submission rear naked choke, round 3, 4 minutes and 52 seconds. Another late finish. Only 8 seconds left in this fight. And Brent Primus gets the submission victory. Too bad finishes aren't valued in the PFL tournaments anymore. Too bad. At middleweight, Aaron Jeffrey defeats Murad Ramazanov. Split decision, 28-29, 29-28, 29-28. Now, this is a fight where you could have seen it either way. Ramazanov, 7 takedowns, plenty of control time. Landed about 2/3 of the strikes that Aaron Jeffrey landed. I thought Ramazanov did enough to get the win, but Aaron Jeffrey, being the more active fighter, being the more dangerous fighter, landing more damaging strikes, the referees think, sorry, not the referees, the judges think he gets the win. And that was the PFL 3. Shout out to those fighters. They'll be fighting later in the year. Who knows when? Who knows when? I don't think they have it booked yet. But, yeah. Let's get into some boxing. Boxing. Dalton Smith took on Mathieu Germain. Okay? And the bigger, stronger guy won. Dalton Smith now 18-0 with 13 KOs. Drops Germain, who was 26-3-1 and 11 KOs 3 times. En route to a unanimous of all unanimous decisions. Okay? This was a matchroom card. Sheffield, England. That's right. Eddie Hearn was in the building. Eddie Hearn was in the building. And Eddie Hearn was playing matchmaker after this, too. So Dalton Smith defeats Germain by unanimous decision. And this was a 12-round fight. The judges' scorecards were 117-107, 119-105, 119-105. Yeah. More than 10. It was an ass whooping. Like I said, Eddie Hearn playing matchmaker after this. He says that Dalton Smith will challenge WBC light welterweight champion Alberto Puello next. Alberto Puello. Okay. We last seen Puello pick up a win over Sandor Martin in a 12-round split decision where he retained his WBC super lightweight title. That wasn't too long ago, just a few months back. So Dalton Smith versus Alberto Puello should be the next matchup here. We'll see if they book that fight next. We'll see if that's the mandatory or if there's other things that have to be involved. You know, with boxing, I'm not going to say it, but you know with boxing. So let's just move on. Josh Warrington defeats Asad Asif Khan via unanimous decision in a 10-round fight. That was 97-91, 99-90, 99-89. Josh Padley TKOs Marco Savanovic, 1 minute and 13 seconds. And Kalman Argako wins a majority decision against Ryan Kelly, 95-95, 96-94, 97-94. Yeah. And that was the Dalton Smith, Mathieu Germain card. That was in Sheffield, England. Matchroom, Sheffield, England. Sheffield. Yeah. Gabriela Fundora and Marilyn Badillo fought. And our undisputed flyweight champ remains our undisputed flyweight champ. That's right. In a flawless performance, Gabriela Fundora retains her undisputed flyweight championship with a 7th-round TKO over Marilyn Badillo on Saturday at Front Wave Arena in Oceanside, California. That was 1 minute and 44 seconds into round 7 for the WBA, WBO, WBC, IBF, and ring flyweight titles. She's got all 5. Gabby Fundora is Thanos. Okay? She's flyweight Thanos. Gabby Fundora is turning all her opponents to dust. That's what she's doing. She's nice, man. She's freaking nice. What can we say? Like, literally, what can we say about Gabby Fundora? Look at all the opponents she's taken down in the last 2 years. Christina Cruz, Daniela Asenio, Gabriela Celeste Alanis, and now Marilyn Badillo. She's 16-0 with 8 KOs. Shout out to Gabby Fundora. Shout out to her with a big freaking win. Just getting more jewels on that big old glove of hers. Just getting more jewels added. Also in a great fight, Jorge Perez defeats Charles Conwell via split decision. It was 115-113, 113-115, 115-113. Yeah. It was a tough fight. Conwell just couldn't deal with the pressure of Perez. Perez's pressure and his volume was too much. It was a close fight, though. It was a fun fight. If you want to see a good boxing match with a little back and forth action, go ahead and watch that again. Otherwise, on the card, Tristan Kalkrut defeats Felix Valera via unanimous decision, 99-91, 99-91, 97-93. Ruslan Abdullayev defeats Gino Rodrigo via unanimous decision, 80-71 across the board. Jorge Chavez defeats Brandon Douglas via unanimous decision, 80-71 across the board. Alexander Jovic defeats Anthony Holloway via TKO in round 3. Dallas Kalepu defeats Jesus Perez via TKO in round 1. Joshua Edwards defeats Larry Gonzalez via TKO in round 2. And Samuel Torres defeats Mark Misiura via TKO in round 1. And that defeats, Gabby Fundora, Marilyn Badillo. Let's talk about Jake Paul. Talk about Jake Paul. Let's do it. Jake Paul just got a fight booked. That's right. Jake Paul has a fight booked. And it's against a real boxer. How about that? How about that? Jake Paul will be taking on Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. in a cruiserweight matchup on June 28th at the Honda Center in Allen. Oh my God. What the fuck's going on in my mouth? All right. Jake Paul is set to face WBC middleweight champion Julio Cesar Chavez in a cruiserweight matchup on June 28th at the Honda Center in Anaheim, California. There was a lot of Honda Center in Anaheim, California. Whoa, a lot of AHs in there. Honda Center in Anaheim. Holy shit. Anyway, this is Paul's first fight since the Mike Tyson bout on Netflix. That's right. This past November, if you guys remember, it was one of the biggest sporting events of the year. Shame to say that, but it was. It was. Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson was one of the biggest events of the year, possibly one of the biggest events of all time because of what it did, because of what the possibilities that it opened. Just think about it. We had a boxing event live on Netflix. Since then, we've had multiple things on Netflix, obviously. We've had NFL events. We've had live roasts. We've had musical events. But now other markets are starting to look into this. Now the UFC is terminating their contract with ESPN. And they're looking at suitors like HBO Max, suitors like Amazon Prime, suitors like, well, not Disney Plus or Hulu, because then they'll be falling back under that ESPN umbrella. But you get what I'm saying. Netflix, maybe. Imagine we get UFC on Netflix, and that's what we got to do now. And now Netflix is $24.99 a month. Hey, these are possibilities that are gonna happen in the next year or so. You're not listening? The UFC is terminating their contract with ESPN. We don't know what the next step is. But thanks to guys like Jake Paul and Julio Cesar Chavez and Mike Tyson and these kind of guys, we're gonna have boxing events on connected apps. What a world to live in now. What a freaking world we live in now. Yeah. Let's talk about Chavez. Chavez is on a 2-fight winning streak. He has a decision over ex-UFC middleweight Uriah Hall this past July on the Paul versus Mike Perry event. That's right. He fought on the undercard of a previous Jake Paul event. Yeah. That's the thing. Jake Paul's last fights, Mike Tyson. Before that, Mike Perry. Before that, Ryan Borland. Before that, Andre August. Before that, Nate Diaz. And the lone loss of his career was to Tommy Fury in a split decision February 26th of 2023. Now, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., 54 wins, 6 losses, 1 draw, 1 no contest. And the losses on his record, get this: Sergio Martinez, Canelo Alvarez, Daniel Jacobs, yeah, and Anderson Silva. So if Jake Paul joins that list of guys that Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. has lost to, I guess that'll just be right on par, right? That'll be exactly what he's been doing this whole time, I guess. But hey, we're going to watch because this is a real boxer this time, even though Anderson Silva has beat him. This is a real boxer. And why have I mentioned Anderson Silva so much? Oh yeah, because Jake Paul beat him already. Jake Paul beat Anderson Silva by unanimous decision on October 29th of 2022 in Glendale, Arizona. I was at that fight. I actually did the fight week. I was covering that fight week. So yeah. You already know where my money's going. And it's very rarely ever not gone on Jake Paul. And that's that. So Jake Paul, Julio, Cesar, Chavez Jr. I don't know who's going to be on the undercard, but that fight is absolutely going to happen. The fans aren't too happy because Paul was previously linked to Canelo, previously linked to Gervonta Davis. And then for this fight to come up, it's a toughie. It's a toughie. But yeah. Other news in boxing, we got some fights coming up. Let me quickly let you guys know what's coming up. April 26th in London on DAZN, Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn, 12 rounds at middleweight. Everybody knows this as Egg Gate. Chris Eubank's father will not be in his corner for this fight, saying it was dishonorable that his son threw an egg in the face of his opponent like that. So a lot of controversy in this fight. I'm excited to see what happens on April 26th. May 2nd, New York City on DAZN pay-per-view. Ryan Garcia, Rolando Rolly Romero, 12 rounds at junior welterweight. You already know what the fuck's good with that. Me and Luke will be covering that, doing a watch-along. You already know. May 3rd in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, Canelo Alvarez versus William Skull. 12 rounds for Alvarez's WBC, WBO, and WBA super middleweight titles and Skull's IBF super middleweight title. The only one missing here will be the Ring magazine for Canelo to be undisputed at super middleweight. May 4th in Las Vegas on ESPN and ESPN Plus, Naoya Inoue returns to fight for the junior featherweight championship. And May 10th in San Diego on ESPN and ESPN Plus, Emmanuel Navarrete will take on Charlie Suarez, 12 rounds for Navarrete's WBO junior lightweight title. And that covers boxing. And now for our favorite segment of the week. But it's not this week. Because it's not of this week's wins. It's of this week's house. It's of this week's house. Yep. It's of this week's house. And when you see the graphic later, you'll know who did it. You know, I'm sure if you tailed, you already know. You already know because there's only one guy that completely screwed us on the night. We'll get into that, though. But shout out to our lone win on the night, yo. Shout out to the lone win. We took the under on the Rabadanov-Dicazy fight, and boy, did that cash. Plus 175. I only had to wait 32 seconds. I had to wait 32 seconds for this money to come back. That was nice. Wish I could have more of those in life. Little did I know that would be the only win on the night. That was the only win. That was the literal only win. And now there were less wins because I stopped betting, because I know when to cut my losses and I know when my night's not going my way. But shit, man. Didn't think it would go that catastrophically bad on the prelims. Holy my Lord. All right. Well, speaking of unders, I went with a little unders parlay that didn't cash. A little plus 903. Had the under in that Dalton Rasta Sadubusi fight, and I had the under in the Mads Burnell JJ Wilson fight. Now, JJ did get the finish at the end of round 3, but 2 minutes too late, JJ. 2 fucking minutes too late, my guy. So the plus 903 did not cash. It was another L. It was another fat L in a night full of L's. Luke gave me a nice little parlay that I tried to cash in on. We had Fabian at, with the spread. We had overs in a bunch of fights. Sadubusi with the spread. Mads Burnell with the spread. Yeah, a lot of those overs did not cash, and a lot of those spreads did not cash. Sadubusi screwed us. Mads Burnell screwed us. The over in the Rabadanov-Dicazy fight did not cash. It was just L's left and right. Just wasn't our night. Just wasn't our night. And then we had the main event. We tried with the mystery bet. We tried Fabian Edwards by decision, which I thought would happen. It ended up being a Fabian Edwards TKO. I wish I could have mashed these two together to make one more awesome parlay that would hit. But that's not the case. We had to take another fat L here. Wasn't great. And then I gave you guys this parlay. Sadabusi, JJ Wilson, Fabian Edwards, Murad Ramazanov. And man, if it wasn't for Sadabusi, this would have looked great. But we got robbed on Murad Ramazanov, whatever the fuck. All right. Fabian Edwards came through. Green check there. JJ Wilson came through. Green check there. Sadabusi had to shit the bed for us. So yeah. That bet did not cash. It would have came back. Nice little 200 piece. But it is what it is. We lost. That parlay didn't cash. And then we had this parlay. Plus 114. Clay Collard. Josh Silveira. Gadzi Rabadanov. Josh Silveira with a unanimous decision. Gadzi Rabadanov with a 30-second TKO of Mark Chikaze. And it didn't cash. Clay Collard gets TKO'd by Alfie Davis in round 1. Oh, what a fucking L. What an L. Huh? What an L. Just hellacious because of this guy. Because of this guy. It is what it is. We'll come back next week stronger. We got UFC. We got the ability to bet on FanDuel and DraftKings. We got the ability to double up. So hopefully next week's a better chapter. But this was this week's episode of This Week's Wins, which turns out to be an episode of This Week's Else. Moving on. Picks on UFC Fight Night. Gary versus Prates. Okay. That's right. We got UFC Kansas City this week. UFC Kansas City on Saturday. It's a Kansas City Saturday, boys. Get the barbecue ready. Let me give you guys my picks. A little something light before. Hey, if you guys want the elaborate picks, you got to come back Friday. Friday is when I go crazy. I show you the chart. We do the simulations. We talk in depth about the fighters. Come through Friday. I'll see you guys Friday. But my picks right now, Ian Machado-Garry. Got to go with him. I feel like he knows something. He's always able to win in a close fight, and I don't see him getting finished. So I see Ian Machado-Garry with a win. I see David Onama with a nice win, aka finish. I see Michelle Pereira with a nice win, aka finish. And I see Randy Brown with a nice win, aka finish. So those are my 4 main guys that I'm looking at to make either fun parlays with or bet nice straights or a nice player prop with. So those are my guys. If you guys want to take them straight up at face value now, that's actually a pretty smart parlay right there. It might be a little low. It might be like a plus 140 something, but we'll see. But yeah, those are my picks. Don't forget to come back Friday. Don't forget CP units, bitch. We went off for a week because all we had was PFL this week, but CP units is making a comeback. CP units is coming. CP units. We need a big CP units win. We haven't had one in a while. So don't forget this Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern, CP units right here at One More Round Fights. Shout out to everybody that came through. Shout out to Leroy. Shout out to Lazy Bed. Shout out to Luke for the main card minute. Don't forget to root for the fucking Celtics today. I got my Tatum jersey behind me. I got my Scalabrini jersey behind me. You already know. Shea Gilgeous is probably already putting a whooping on the fucking Grizzlies right now. So enjoy some basketball for the rest of the day. I'm going to do the same. And I'm getting the fuck up out of here. I'm going to drink some water and do some other shit. All right, peace.